After having such a fun afternoon at Ripley's, I have to tell you these are the 4 reasons you have to go next. Before we get started, I won't assume that everybody knows what Ripley's is, but for me, my introduction to Ripley's was TV shows. The museum was the exact same thing. This is centrally located to restaurants and nearby stores. The fact that we were able to park without having to pay was a big convenience, and I found that this area is so walkable, so you can walk here from a restaurant. As we walked into the location, you're immediately greeted with a person in the front, and they had like a little souvenir shop on the side. But the fact that you are able to pay with a kiosk, it was perfect and it was convenient. But what I will tell you is you need to make sure that you have some form of credit or debit because their operating system is only card payment. So the cool thing is they have it divided into different sections. So they have the first, which is the sunken head section. And for me, the history of the shrunken head was a little disturbing, but I think it was honest truth. And then they explained the process of how it's done. I got tripped up by the two-way mirror as I was walking past, but they didn't get me the second time. Walking through and you kind of seeing the mummy section, the different process of mummification, which I was, I'm familiar with. I've watched The Mummy, To me, one of my favorite moments was seeing the tall man because you can read it, but to actually be able to physically visualize seeing a person or a lifelike figure that tall and, realizing that there were people that lived in the world like that, to me, that was kind of like an amazing point because I was like, I am sure. The nugget of surprise was before going in, they had like this beautiful wall, a mural. It was so nice. Now, after seeing that, you go through these like little, it felt like Xenon, the Zoom 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 movie. It felt like that. And I absolutely love it. I was a supernova girl for a moment because I was reliving every childhood dream, which was walking into like this space, futuristic environment, which it was. You could definitely tell this place was brand new. It actually had just been opened only a week. And playing that little game, my coordination with lack of gravity was so off. I had to play it twice. But moving on, we had decided to like walk through and see these, they're like mannequins, but with the prosthetics, they did a really good job with making them look so close to the actual resemblance of, the people at the time, which ones that did the But I absolutely loved the moment of walking through that tube. I felt a little dizzy afterwards. I was a little like, ooh, let me catch myself. But it was so trippy and it was so cool. And I loved it. So I found out that for the $39.99 we paid, it included the mirror maze. Now, what is the mirror maze? Honey. It was an experience. Now they have a whole process of where you have to glove up and you have your, like 3D infinity goggles type of thing. I couldn't use it because, again, my coordination, the way I'm set up, I would have fell. So I didn't use the 3D glasses. I found it would be a little cumbersome for me, but I got the visuals. Walking in there and seeing all of these beautiful lights, all of these different colors, and it was just such a vibe. But my boyfriend actually figured out a way, like a method, on how to not get stuck in the maze. While in the maze, we were able to find this room called the Infinity Room. Now, the Infinity Room was like Christmas lights, who? Place was just, I would have rather stayed here. You know, I could just stay here with all of these like icicle style lights, and it was just such a nice vibe. And if I recall correctly, they did have a little music going. It was a vibe. Like, somebody needs to make that into a club. But that was like an added bonus for me that I absolutely loved. Now, we had to leave at some point. So to wrap it up, we just, you know, finally made our way out. I have to say it was not what I expected, considering that I had very, very low expectations walking in. It was so great to find that this place was so much more than I expected, and all the new changes were, it felt like it was made for me. And I would say that this is not a first date kind of place, because you don't want to, you know, get somebody lost in a maze. I don't think that'll be a good first date. But I think this would make great for a third date. I think that the cost is really good. I think that the fact that the outside appearance and knowing that the parking is so convenient was, you know, a definite plus. And the fact of everything that they have on the inside. And then you get a bonus, which is the maze. The maze, you can't beat that as a bonus. I think it makes good for about an hour, hour and a half. So you can kind of like book a reservation, go there, hang out, and afterwards, you know, spend time at dinner talking about everything you've seen. I think it's definitely a great date spot. And that concludes my video.